Hey folks, Quill18 here, coming at you with just a little quickie episode for SimCity. This is the city that I was running in the previous set of videos of Boulder Eiston, and we were having some pretty serious traffic problems. Well, I decided to experiment by thinking in terms of, well, I know that the cars generally take a shortest path, and until the next patch comes out, which is going to have traffic congestion avoidance put in, there's really nothing else going on. And so I decided to sort of mess with that a little bit by breaking up these lanes a little. I mean, I got rid of this area down here in general just to give me some space, and then I put in this little thing with just a little bit of a crooked bit. The idea being, now any cars that are trying to reach, say, like the top half of the city over here, will never see this route as a shortest path. The only people who will use this are the people who are legitimately going into this area. Because, I mean, the only place where the traffic is a real concern is coming in and out of the city. And when I left this off, the traffic was backed up for miles. You could see it in both directions. It was just completely jammed up. And the entire main street and everything here was just completely stopped. So putting that in really helped make it so that the traffic was going in sort of somewhat smarter directions. And then the other thing I did, I think I originally had a park and ride over here, like attached to the road itself. Well, when people are trying to come in and out of the lot, it was causing some real bottlenecks over here. So I thought about moving it off to a side. Actually, now I remember there used to be an avenue that went all the way here, and then I got rid of the avenue connection here, which helped a little, but ended up still having a huge bottleneck over here as people tried to get on and off of the park and ride. So what I decided to do is build another little offshoot here that would only, and again, put a crooked path in here. And ideally you do this with curve. I just did this very quickly just as a test to see what would happen. And I just want to see what would happen. And yeah, I put the park and ride back here. So now the only vehicles that use this area, well, that's not true. As I said, there's another car that goes here. Very occasionally another vehicle takes this route. And what that is an example of the fact that they actually already had a certain degree of congestion avoidance in the game. It's just not weighted properly, and that's one of the adjustments that they're going to do so that people dodge the heavy bits. So yeah, on occasion a car will come down here, although the vast majority of the cars that do, someone doing a U-turn, are just for the park and ride. And it has made a huge freaking difference. This is the other traffic crush that happens a little bit later in the day as some of my commuters come back, or freight trucks, or these are moving trucks, people moving into the city. It really has gotten a little bit better. In the morning and at night around 6 p.m. when people are leaving and going to and coming back from work, there's a little bit of a traffic jam, but it's just a fraction of a fraction. It's not even a thing. And as I break up this sort of grid, basically, the grid is really working against me. It's going to start to improve things considerably. Yes, so there's a tiny bit of traffic that goes down here from time to time, and conceivably I could have made it even a little bit stronger with sort of more emphasis and more curves and things. And I think that's a lot of the people who are building lower density cities with a lot of curves aren't seeing some of these traffic problems because there's the curves and the crooked roads kind of break apart these shortest paths that work against you. So there have been a couple other adjustments. I think I hunted down any other spot where I may have had a high density street crossing an avenue, because that creates street lights. So I've tried to eliminate those, and then what I'm going to do is go back and build these little sections. Like here's probably a good candidate. I don't think that I can. Yeah, I can't modify just a part of this road, but conceivably, yeah, I can't do that one there. No. There's places like that, right, where I can put a break in like that. Then I can go into my road tool, upgrade this road to high density so that my buildings will be able to grow, and then take a medium density street and put a connection, in theory. Let me bulldoze one other section of the road here. It's going to bulldoze some buildings, but they're going to repopulate pretty quickly. There we are. So you have some stuff like that, and yeah, it's a little gamey in a way, but it forces the intersection a little further back, and here there's no lights, which is pretty key. Now, this is not necessarily a major avenue, not an important place to do it, but I probably will go and do a few more manipulations like this and just round out some corners. And it was a lot of stuff. I was trying to experiment with this off camera. That's why you didn't actually see me build it, because there was a lot of fiddling back and forth and testing out different ideas. But there's going to be some stuff like that just to see. Oh, and I got my my headquarters, my petroleum headquarters upgraded. Some people had suggested this trick, which is what I used. I built another trade depot, but what I did is I made it so that none of these would export oil. I just had them stockpile oil as much as possible. And then when they were all completely full and it was near the start of a new day, then I engaged the stockpiling. Combined with the fact that there are no more traffic jams, or very minimal traffic jams anyway, and having a bunch of oil and have them all go out at once, I was easily able to meet my goal to upgrade my petroleum headquarters. And I've gone, oh, I haven't. I can put down my my refining division now, get that kick-started, and then build an oil refinery and make lots and lots of money as I produce my own plastic and produce my own and produce fuel, which I can sell for a fair amount. But there you go. So that was an interesting little bit of learning, and I look forward to really experimenting with these sort of curved and offset roads. And really, like, now I feel like I understand the pathing and how it works a lot better. And then you can sort of design road layouts to really take advantage of that. I mean, like, this sort of stuff was kind of a good start, just to force the congestion off the streets and to stay on to the avenues. But there's a maximum amount of traffic that the avenues can handle. One of the other things that I took a look at, actually, is because these are high density avenues being crisscrossed by medium density streets, and then there's no traffic lights, right, which is very good. But if I were to upgrade these to high density avenues with tram tracks, then there would be intersection, there would be lights all of a sudden, because of, I don't know, reasons. But looking at my map, I actually have a path around my city that has no intersections with streets whatsoever. If we start here and we follow this way and then up this way, and then in fact everything else, like from all the way to here, all the way to back here, and then these areas here, these curved roads, they don't intersect any street at all, and they are great candidates for streetcars. Now, one of the recommendations that people have also made is not to make branching streetcar paths. Just have your streetcars basically on a single line. For example, I might have one route that goes in a U like this. Actually, and then from there we could even go all the way up here, and probably, I don't mind if there's a light there, all the way up here and all the way around. Like, you get this sort of big S-bend kind of thing going on, and then you could set up a second streetcar that maybe just services this area back and forth, or it could do a loop here. No, because they'd be sharing an intersection there, and that would be bad. So these sort of like semi-isolated streetcar systems. In fact, I don't think it would be the end of the world if we had traffic lights at these two intersections. So I could have one streetcar that just services from here up to here and somewhere into this area. That would be one good one. And then another one that maybe is just like Main Street and then comes in here. So I haven't figured out what all the streetcar routes will be. You can have up to 3, and so I'm going to mess around with those at some point and add those in, just keep the traffic situation good. But so far, pretty decent. The next step, I mean, the city is growing and happy. The fact that people can move around means that they're going to work and then they're going to shop, so the buildings are going to get bigger, assuming that I increase my road density. So I'm going to be poking around and looking at that. We'll make a proper video at some point. This, I actually don't have time to play right now. I just fiddled a little earlier, and then I've got a little bit of time for this mini video, but we'll come back to the region sort of more properly later on. And look at that over there. Look at that region. So freaking nice. Yeah, so that's that. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye, folks.